After 9 seasons and 184 episodes, The Flash has officially come to a close. As a result, I decided to rank all 9 seasons of The Flash from worst to best. To be clear, this list is my opinion and nothing more than that. Also, I'm not ranking the later seasons by graphic novels. I'll talk about the seasons as a whole. That said, here's my ranking of all 9 seasons of The Flash from worst to best. Coming in at number 9 is Season 5. This season was pretty boring overall. Cicada serves as the main villain of this season. I found Orland Dwyer's Cicada to be pretty terrifying in the first few episodes he was in. However, as the season went on, he became less threatening and more of a boring villain. He kept getting away whenever he fought with Barry and the rest of Team Flash. I like the idea of Dwyer wanting to eliminate Metas due to what happened to him and his niece, Grace Gibbons. But I felt like it could have been executed a lot better. On top of that, he gets replaced with another Cicada, which is a future version of his niece, later in the season. It felt like the same thing. She fought with Team Flash for a bit, and then escaped after a while. While I have the season at the bottom, I did like some things about Season 5. For example, I enjoyed seeing Barry and Iris as parents, since I like how they bonded with their future daughter, Nora West Allen. Also, I did enjoy the storyline with the Reverse Flash. It was nice to see Thawne mentor Nora, like how he mentored Barry back in Season 1, and I love how he was revealed to be the mastermind of the whole season. Lastly, I liked that the 100th episode took place this season. It was so interesting to see Barry and Nora travel back to different events from previous seasons. However, none of this was enough to save this season. Due to the dull plot and the season lacking a good main villain, Season 5 comes in at last place. At number 8, I have Season 7. While thinking about which season of The Flash was the worst, I thought of either Season 5 or Season 7. After thinking hard and figuring out which season I was engaged with more, I ultimately decided on Season 7. Even though Season 5 was structured better, Season 7 had better storylines. For example, the storyline with the Forces was pretty interesting. It was nice to see the Speed Force, of all things, as the main villain of that story arc, since it is the thing that Barry's powers come from. Unlike most people, I'm not bothered too much about the Forces calling each other brother and sister, and referring to Barry and Iris as mom and dad. As for the Godspeed storyline, it should have been a lot longer. I understand they couldn't do many episodes due to COVID. However, that doesn't mean they could have expanded on the Godspeed narrative. The 3 filler episodes of Season 7 should have gone toward the Godspeed storyline, in my opinion. We finally got to see the real Godspeed in the present day after seeing him in flash forwards in Season 5. It turned out to be a waste since the first episode of the Godspeed storyline only had his clones, and Godspeed didn't do anything until the last episode. The best thing Godspeed did was fight both Barry and Thawne. Even that's not enough to make up for how dirty he was done. The first 3 episodes were to wrap up Season 6 story, since it was cut short due to COVID. While it was nice to see Mirror Monarch being revealed as a clone of the real Eva McCulloch, and I liked seeing her redemption, I still wasn't satisfied. In my opinion, she should have been punished for her actions. Once again, I thought Season 7 had good storylines. That's why I have it higher than Season 5. However, the writing was awful, and the whole season could have been better executed. As a result, Season 7 comes in at number 8. At number 7, I have Season 4. When it comes to Season 4, it's one of those seasons that's a mixed bag. I like how this season brought back the lighthearted tone of the show, after Season 3 was very dark. The Thinker as the main villain was great. I like that he's the first main villain that's not an evil speedster. Neil Sandilands did a phenomenal job in the role. However, DeVoe switches from body to body when he transfers his mind into the bodies of the bus metas. As a result, he is portrayed by multiple actors and actresses, and it gets repetitive since he does it so much. If DeVoe would have only swapped bodies once or twice, or if he would have only absorbed the powers of the bus metas, I would have enjoyed that so much better than what we got. Besides the Thinker as an excellent main villain when played by Neil Sandilands, I enjoyed seeing Barry in prison. It was interesting to see Barry go to prison for a crime he didn't commit, just like his dad. Also, Ralph Dibny, aka Elongated Man, joins the team and quickly becomes one of the best characters on the show. Lastly, I like how Nora West Allen is introduced during the Crisis on Earth X crossover event, and it was so nice that Barry and Iris finally married this season. Besides the body swapping, other things I didn't like about Season 4 were that they ruined Harry Wells, and I wouldn't say I liked that Iris was annoying this season. Harry is definitely my favorite version of Harrison Wells, and I missed the bromance and the constant bickering between him and Cisco. In the first episode of season 4, it felt like Iris didn't even want Barry back, and I did not enjoy seeing Iris as the temporary leader of Team Flash while Barry was absent. That said, I don't hate season 4, and I don't love it either. Therefore, I think season 4 is good enough at number 7. At number 6, I have the show's most recent and final season, season 9. I really wanted to put season 9 higher on my list. Unfortunately, the season was a huge disappointment. For starters, there were too many filler episodes, and Barry wasn't even in his flash suit every episode. Also, the series finale could have been a lot better. They finally brought the Speedster main villains together, and they all received an embarrassing defeat at the hands of Team Flash. If it were me writing the episode, I would have had all of the good speedsters, Barry, Jay, Bart, Nora, and Wally, for example, go up against the evil speedsters, which include Reverse Flash, Zoom, Savitar, Godspeed, and of course, Cobalt Blue. Furthermore, if the season had more episodes, there should have been some episodes dedicated to Barry going up against each evil speedster, so it can be shown how much he grew throughout the show. While it was nice that baby Nora was finally born, I hate that Cisco didn't appear. I know Carlos Valdez had scheduling conflicts. However, they could have had Cisco appear through a video or phone call. They didn't even mention him in the series finale, for God's sake. Thankfully, they mentioned him at least once in the season. On top of that, the Red Death storyline was alright. It could have been executed so much better. It was nice that the show finally adopted the proper rogues gallery, and I enjoyed seeing Barry and Team Flash team up with former villains, such as Goldface, Pied Piper, and The Hotness. I have season 9 above season 4, since the season contains 2 of the best episodes of the entire series, which are episodes 9 and 10, and the show finally gives us a proper rogues gallery for the Scarlet Speedster. It was so nice to see Oliver Queen, Bloodwork, and Kid Flash return in episode 9, and I enjoyed the full circle moment in episode 10, where Barry and Thawne fight in the year 2000 at Barry's childhood home. Furthermore, I enjoyed the Cobalt Blue storyline, and thought seeing Eddie Thawne as a villain was nice. While this season could have been a lot better, I enjoyed parts of it, and I like how it contains 2 of the best episodes of the entire series. As a result, season 9 comes in at number 6. At number 5, I have season 6. Season 6 is not bad. However, the first half with Bloodwork is a lot stronger than the second half with Mirror Monarch. Bloodwork is definitely the best non-speedster main villain on The Flash. He was the best main villain on the show since Zoom. I like how he starts out as a good guy and then descends into villainy throughout the season. He even affects Barry, and Team Flash is forced to fight Barry to help him regain control. What I also like about Season 6 is the introduction of Nash Wales and the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. I can't decide whether Crisis on Infinite Earths or Crisis on Earth X is my favorite crossover event, since both are really well done. The second half of the season holds Season 6 back for me. While the concept of the Mirrorverse was interesting, Mirror Monarch as a villain was not. She wasn't bad, but I just wasn't interested in the Mirror storyline, as it was with the Bloodwork one. Also, the season finale doesn't feel like a real season finale. I know this was season 6 being cut short due to COVID. Regardless, the second half wasn't as good as the first. Due to season 6 having a solid first half, but a weak second half, it deserves to come in at number 5. At number 4, I have season 3. Season 3 is really good. I thought Savitar was a great villain, and I liked how he was revealed to be an evil time remnant of Barry from the future. Even though the Savitar reveal came too late in the season, I was shocked when I learned his true identity. Savitar is basically what Barry could have become if he had gone down the dark path. I also like this season's introduction of Julian Albert and Wally becoming Kid Flash. It was nice to see the banter between Barry and Julian at the start of season 3, and I like how Julian enters a relationship with Caitlin and becomes a key member of Team Flash. It was so nice to see Wally become a superhero. I enjoyed watching Wally learn how to use his powers, just like Barry did back in season 1. Furthermore, I appreciated that the show decided to take a darker approach. The whole idea of Iris dying was a huge part of the season, and I like how Team Flash, specifically Barry, was doing everything in their power to ensure she was safe. Besides Julian and Wally, other characters that stood out to me were H.R. Wells and Gypsy. Seeing Tom Cavanaugh as an outgoing and happy version of Harrison Wells was fantastic, and I loved the romantic arc Gypsy started with Cisco. The major downfall of this season is the premiere episode, Flashpoint. Flashpoint should have definitely been more than one episode. It was awesome to see Barry living in a reality where both of his parents were alive and didn't have the burden of being the Flash. Also, Matt Letcher was great as Reverse Flash, as always. Flashpoint is one of the episodes where Thawne's rivalry with Barry shines the most. Lastly, it was interesting to see Iris and Wally as a sibling crime-fighting duo, Joe as an alcoholic cop, and Caitlin and Cisco in their Flashpoint roles. Since they crammed it all into one episode, it felt rushed when it could have been so much better. Overall, Season 3 is pretty solid and deserves to come in at number 4. At number 3, I have Season 8. Like Season 4, Season 8 is definitely a mixed bag. Some people love it, some people hate it. Some people thought it was just alright. For me, Season 8 is the best season of the Eric Wallace era. Some of you may think I have Season 8 too high on my list. However, I love the storylines that took place this season, more so than Season 3. The season starts with the Armageddon event. I loved that it was a mini crossover and that Barry interacted with other Arrowverse characters, such as Black Lightning and Damien Dark. Also, I like that Thawne was revealed to have orchestrated everything. He was responsible for the death of Joe, and he even stole Barry's life for God's sake. While I wish it were Matt Letcher playing Thawne, Tom Cavanaugh shines during the Armageddon event, mainly in Part 4. What I enjoyed most about Armageddon was that Barry and Thawne switched roles as the Flash and the Reverse Flash in the Reverse Flashpoint timeline. Despero, on the other hand, could have been written better. However, I enjoyed the Armageddon arc as a whole. The Deathstorm storyline was written very well. I like how his grief was connected to Team Flash, and seeing him connected to Caitlin the most was interesting. He disguises himself as Ronnie Raymond after starting out as a Black Flame, and targets Team Flash and the rest of Central City, so everyone can feel his wrath. Even though Barry should have been the one fighting Deathstorm in the final battle, I thought it was an excellent way to end Frost's arc on the show. I just wish it would have been both Barry and Frost fighting Deathstorm. The It's All Negative story arc is a mixed bag for me. First, I'm glad they finally brought Matt Letcher back as Thawne. Seeing him as a good version of Thawne and his romantic arc with Dr. Mina Darwin, aka Fast Track, was interesting. My favorite episode of the It's All Negative arc is episode 18. It was so nice to see both Matt Letcher's and Tom Cavanaugh's versions of the Reverse Flash in one episode. Also, I liked seeing how Matt Letcher's version met Mina and how they fell in love. Lastly, at the end of episode 19, seeing Tom Cavanagh's Thawne rip off the face of Matt Letcher's Thawne was one of the most brutal death scenes I have ever seen in my life. I will say that the season finale wasn't as good as it could have been. However, I did enjoy the final confrontation between Barry and Thawne, even though I wish it were Matt Letcher since Tom Cavanaugh was definitely overused. The only filler episode I really cared for was episode 6, where Bart and Nora time travel and encounter Eddie Dawn. The other filler episodes were just absolutely boring, and I wasn't engaged with them as much as I could have been. Nevertheless, Season 8 was a huge improvement over Season 7, and it deserves to be in the top 3. At number 2, I have Season 1. Season 1 was a great way to start the show. I enjoyed seeing Barry fight a new villain and learning how to use his powers every episode. Tom Cavanaugh gives his best performance as Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. The characters and the chemistry between them this season were just amazing. This season, Barry, Cisco, Iris, Joe, and Eddie were incredible. While I initially disliked Caitlin, she quickly grew on me. I liked her romantic arc with Ronnie Raymond, and it was nice to see how he and Martin Stein became the superhero known as Firestorm. This season also introduces Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold. Captain Cold quickly became one of the best villains on the show before he moved over to Legends of Tomorrow as a series regular. While he was on screen, I enjoyed every second of it. His rivalry with Barry was terrific. Barry's talks with his dad in prison were so emotional and so heartwarming, and it's one of the best things to watch during this season. Season 1 doesn't have a single bad episode. All of the episodes are fun to watch this season, and it sucks that the show lost its magic as it went on. Coming in at number 1 is Season 2. Season 2 was a massive treat for fans. Zoom is such a scary villain, and he's the most terrifying villain on the show, more so than the Reverse Flash. Also, he is one of the most terrifying villains in the entire Arrowverse. Some of you may have Season 1 at the top. If you do, I can't argue with you, because Season 1 was great. For me, I liked Season 2 more, since they introduced the aspect of the multiverse this season. I enjoyed learning about the different Earths, such as Earth 1, which is the show's universe, and Earth 2. Also, I enjoyed seeing the different doppelgangers, such as Reverb, Killer Frost, Deathstorm, and Black Siren. As a result, my 2 favorite episodes of this season were episodes 13 and 14, which took place on Earth 2. This season, other episodes that stood out to me were episodes 3, 6, 11, 18, 20, 22, and 23. Like Season 1, Season 2 doesn't have a single bad episode, and every episode is fun to watch. As a result, Season 2 deserves to come in at number 1. There you have it, my ranking of all 9 seasons, from worst to best. The show had its ups and downs, but it's hard to know it's all over. As I said earlier, I plan on making a Season 9 rant video if I have the time. Feel free to leave your ranking of all 9 seasons in the comments section below. Also, feel free to check out some of my other videos. With that being said, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you for watching. Peace out.